Hello students, I am VLN Swarupini, lecturer in biochemistry from Sri Venkateswara College of Arts and Sciences, which is affiliated to Adikavi Nannaya University, Rajahmundry. Today let's discuss about second BSc third semester biochemistry paper, that is enzymology and bioenergetics. In this paper we have 5 units, and the first unit is classification of enzymes and structure of enzymes. From this unit, first topic is biocatalysis. From exam point of view, most widely asked question about biocatalysis is define biocatalysis, write about the differences between chemical catalysis and biological catalysis or biocatalysis. Okay, now let's see about this topic, biocatalysis. Biocatalysis is the catalysis occurring in living or biological systems. Okay, this is nothing but any reaction which is occurring or taking place in living systems or in biological systems are considered as biocatalysis processes. Okay, and during this biocatalysis process, natural catalysts like proteins are involved. Here, catalyst is nothing but the components which are responsible for the biological reactions that are happening in the living systems or in the biological systems. And these bio or natural catalysts, proteins are nothing but enzymes. Okay, as we already know, all enzymes are proteins and not all proteins are enzymes. In this manner, enzymes act as natural catalysts in the biocatalysis process. And what is chemical catalysis? It is nothing but the reactions which takes place at the laboratory level are called as chemical catalysis reactions. Okay, so now let's see the difference between chemical catalysis and biological catalysis. Okay, in the chemical catalysis we see chemical catalysts, nothing but the components which are responsible for the chemical catalysis process. In this chemical catalysis, components which are responsible for the chemical catalysis reactions are like mineral ions or simple molecules. Okay, that means mineral ions or simple molecules act as chemical catalysts in the chemical catalysis reactions. Okay, whereas to this biocatalysis, biological catalysts like globular proteins, which we call them as enzymes, are involved. Okay, and coming to the location of the reaction, chemical catalysis occurs at the laboratory level, whereas this biocatalysis occurs at the biological systems or in the living systems. And coming to the reaction time, this chemical catalysis takes very long period of time as the reaction is very slow when compared to the biocatalysis. And biocatalysis is very fast and rapid in its action. Okay, if we take a protein for the hydrolysis in the laboratory condition, if we hydrolyze a protein with strong acid at 100 degrees centigrade of temperature, it takes couple of days to complete the hydrolysis process. Whereas if we take the same protein in biological system, this particular protein is hydrolyzed with the help of gastrointestinal tract enzymes at body temperature, and it takes couple of hours to complete the hydrolysis of the same protein. That means here in the laboratory conditions we are providing all the required conditions to the reaction, but it is taking couple of days. Whereas in biological catalysis, we are not providing any special conditions, but what happens here, within couple of hours only, what happens, that reaction will be completed. And coming to the results of the reaction also, chemical catalysis results are not accurate. Okay, that means after the completion of the reaction, results are not accurate, whereas in biocatalysis results are completely accurate. And coming to the product yield in the chemical catalysis, it is very less yield, whereas in biocatalysis yield of the reaction is very high. And also chemical catalysis doesn't require any special regulator molecules for the process, whereas in biocatalysis it requires special regulatory molecules like coenzymes or cofactors. Here in the chemical catalysis, less sensitivity is seen for the special conditions like pH and temperature. That means if slight changes in the pH and temperature doesn't bring any change in the chemical catalysis, whereas in biological catalysis little or minute change in the pH and temperature uh, give it affects the reaction, biological reaction. That means biological catalysis is more sensitive to conditions like pH and temperature. In the chemical catalysis, these chemical components or the chemical catalysts, they act on any substance, okay. But whereas in this biocatalysis, what happens is highly substances are highly specific in nature. That means one particular enzyme acts with one particular substrate only, okay. And this chemical catalysis cannot be reused. That means after the completion of a chemical catalysis process, the components which are used or utilized in this chemical catalysis are not these are not flexible for reutilization, whereas enzymes which are used for biological catalysis can be reused after the completion of the reaction, okay. And the chemical catalysis doesn't require any activator, whereas this biological or biocatalysis requires inorganic cations as an biological catalysts or the activators, okay. This is about biocatalysis and the chemical catalysis differences, and by seeing these differences we can know about the process of biocatalysis or the in few important points about biocatalysis. Now once let's see again about biocatalysis, okay. This biocatalysis is a process or the reactions which takes place in the living system or in the biological systems, okay. And this biocatalysis require globular proteins as biological catalysts, and these globular proteins are nothing but enzymes. And the reactions in this biocatalysis are very fast, and these require very less period of time to complete, and the results are accurate, and product yield at the end of the reaction is also high with this biological catalysis. And this biological catalysis requires regulators to maintain the reaction process, and also these require special activators also. And this biocatalysis process is also sensitive to pH and temperature, and this is highly specific in nature. That means all the conditions are should be maintained, and reaction components are also highly specific in nature. And enzymes which are involved in the biological catalysis or the biocatalysis can be reutilized, okay. And as we earlier discussed, this also required special activators for the completion of the biological catalysis process, okay. This is about biocatalysis and the differences of biocatalysis with the chemical catalysis. Now let's move to the next topic, that is active site. So in exam point of view about active site, question might be asked like this: what is active site, and explain silent features of it. Now let's see what is active site and how it is involved in the biocatalysis process. Okay, coming to these enzymes, these are very large molecules, okay, when compared to the other biomolecules which we see in the nature. Okay, and a small portion of this enzyme is called as active site, and this active site is responsible for the attachment of the substrate molecule to the enzyme. That means this active site is responsible for the substrate binding and for the further catalysis of the reaction. Here, see in the diagram, this is a larger enzyme molecule. This is a larger enzyme molecule. Okay, and here a small cleft or a small portion of pocket like invasion is called as active site. Okay, and this active site is responsible for the binding of the substrate, and during biocatalysis process what happens is simply enzyme, which we can denote it as E. Say one enzyme is taken and we consider this enzyme as E. It gets combined with a substrate molecule, okay, with the help of active site. Okay, enzyme plus substrate. This gives rise to an enzyme substrate molecule complex. That means enzyme and substrate get bound to each other with the help of active site, resulting in enzyme substrate complex. Okay, and this, after formation of this complex, our catalysis takes place and end product will be formed like enzyme plus end product. Okay, and this enzyme, after completion of the catalysis, what happens is this enzyme is get separated from the end product, and this can be reused. Okay, reused or reutilized for the further reactions. Okay, as we discussed earlier about the biocatalysis process, there we also discussed this point that enzymes which are involved in the biocatalysis can be reutilized. Okay, this is about how this enzyme and substrate get interact with each other. So for this interaction, this active site is responsible. So now let's see about the silent features of this active site. Okay, and this active site or the presence of the active site is responsible by the three-dimensional structure of the enzyme. Okay, that means due to the tertiary structure of the protein. Okay, if you know the structure of the protein, we'll have tertiary structure as the final protein structure. That means primarily it will be with the amino acids, and these are unfolded as in the secondary structure, and finally three-dimensional structure is formed in the tertiary structure. Okay, due to the tertiary structure of the protein, which results in the three-dimensional native conformation, due to this three-dimensional native conformation only this active site is present. Okay, and this active site is made up of amino acids. As we already know, protein is nothing but the collection of amino acids, and here few amino acids which are present in the enzyme are collectively responsible for the active site formation, and these amino acids which are involved in the formation of this active site are called as catalytic residues. And these amino acids or the catalytic residues which are involved in the active site are not adjacent amino acids. That means the amino acids which are present adjacent to each other doesn't participate in the formation of active site. Okay, and if we take an example, let's take lysozyme enzyme as an example. This lysozyme enzyme is completely taken by 129 amino acids to complete the lysozyme enzyme structure. That means 129 amino acids are required for the uh, structure of this lysozyme. But in the 129 amino acids, only 35th, 52nd, 62nd, 63rd and 101 amino acids are responsible for the formation of the active site. Okay, that means only few amino acids are responsible for the formation of active site, and not all the amino acids are involved in the active site, and not all the adjacent amino acids participate in the active site formation. Okay, and these active sites form clefts or uh, crevices or pockets for the occupation of a small region which provides the substrate attachment. Okay, that means in a big enzyme molecule, a pocket like or cleft like small region is formed, and this pocket like structure is this supports the attachment of the substrate. And the active site is not rigid, or shape or structure of that particular active site is not rigid. Okay, and it is little flexible for the attachment of the substrate. That means for substrate binding, it it should be little flexible. Okay, this flexibility helps the substrate to bind easily to the enzyme. That means when a substrate come near to the suitable enzyme, it should be flexible. Site should be flexible for the attachment of this substrate to the enzyme. So that means this active site is not rigid or stable. This is flexible in nature. And the coenzymes or the cofactors on which some enzymes depend are present as a part of the catalytic site. That means here enzymes consist of both protein part and non-protein part. This about these coenzymes let's discuss in the next topic. So for now on, let's see this. Coenzymes are cofactors. These are present as the part of the catalytic site, and these are dependent on these catalytic sites are responsible for the action of the enzyme. Okay, and the active site and the substrate, these two are bound with weak non-covalent bonds. Why? Because if the interactions are very high, separation of the enzyme after the product formation will be little complicated. So the active site and the substrate, they react with very weak non-covalent bonds, which will be helpful for the further catalysis process. And as we already know, these enzymes are highly specific in nature, and particular enzyme acts only with few suitable substrate or one suitable substrate. That means one enzyme may act for one substrate, suitable substrate, or few particular suitable substrates. And amino acids, but not all amino acids present at the active site. That means all amino acids doesn't contribute for the active site formation. Amino acids like serine, aspartate, glutamate, tyrosine are most commonly seen amino acids at the active site, and here serine is more commonly found or most frequently found amino acid. Okay, and here see the reactions. Here enzyme and substrate get react with each other and they form enzyme substrate complex, and this results in the formation of a product. After the formation of the product, enzyme will be dissociated for the further reutilization of the enzyme. This is all about active site and biocatalysis. Thank you, students.